What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Clippers Latest, where we talk all things LA Clippers, quick, fast, and to the point. I'm your host with the most, with my collar up here flipped, Brandon Goggins, back here with another episode for you guys. Hope that everybody's doing extraordinarily fantastic today, as I am doing so myself. At least I'd like to think so. It's been a pretty good day. So I hope it's going that way for you too. We got a lot to cover today. Even though I think that it will be a relatively quicker episode, definitely quicker than yesterday's. I'm sorry about the yap sesh that I got onto, talking a lot about the streaming services that you can watch the Clippers games on this season. And it was brought to my attention that I had forgotten one, and I actually saw this while I was scrolling my Instagram feed yesterday, and I was like, dang, I hate that I didn't include that because that would have been helpful to know. Games will also be available to watch on FanDuel Sports Network. It's not that I completely forgot. I was going based off of the NBA website, and I didn't see it on there. So I just went based off of what was on there. But that's my apologies. FanDuel is probably going to be one of the more prominent streaming services that we will see Clippers games on. So make sure you tap in. Make sure you see all of the Clippers games that will be available to you, whether that will be on ESPN, NBC, Prime, FanDuel, League Pass, NBA TV. I'm forgetting all of that. You know what I mean? But without further ado, we're going to get straight into it. I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. So first, as many of you guys have probably heard, Russell Westbrook, former Clipper, has signed with the Sacramento Kings for his 18th season in the league. It's crazy. He'll actually be wearing number 18 with the Kings to match how many years he's been doing this. You know, that's crazy consistency. So respect to Russ, man. I love Russ, man. I'm really happy for him. Like, for real, he deserved to be on a roster. And I'm not going to lie, I was starting to get a little sad just because, like, I was thinking that we might have a season opener where Russell Westbrook wasn't going to be on an NBA roster. That's crazy. That would have felt strange, like surreal, unnatural even. But the Kings came through and got him right on a 1-year deal. It is a veteran minimum contract, but honestly, Russ has made enough in his career. He'll be straight. He'll be all right. And he's there for the love of the game at this point. Plus, he'll be closer to home. I think that it's an ideal situation for him. But now that we've got all of that positive kumbaya out the way, let me just say a little something real quick. Unfortunately, Russell Westbrook, if you're watching this, which I have a 100% belief that you are not, I would like you to know that you are now the opposition. Look, I don't make the rules. I do. But let me set this straight. Being teammates with Domantas Sabonis has me looking at you a lot different. And look, it's not you, it's me. Kind of you, but it's mostly me. I'm sorry, bro. I wish you the best, but I can't bring myself to root for any team that's got Sabonis on. I just can't do it. Maybe that's just the hater in me. No, forget the maybe. It is the hater in me. Like, I just can't allow myself to do it. It's just the principle at this point. I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. I don't know. You know, like I said, me be cool. I also kind of hate that it had to be the Kings because I wanted Russ to get a ring before it's all said and done. And no disrespect, but that ain't happening in Sacramento, my boy. Look, y'all know I ain't lying. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. Is anybody in here? Is anybody watching this video? I want you to comment right now when I say this. Are you scared of Sacramento? Be honest. Be so honest. Do you see the Sacramento Kings as a threat? I didn't think so. That Chicago Kings ass squad, bro. Like, good enough to make some noise, but ain't good enough to strike no fear in nobody. Ain't nobody scared of them. Who am I supposed to be scared of? Zach LaVine? Oh my gosh, he might dunk on me. Yeah. Congrats, buddy. You dunk and cut the lead to 42. Am I supposed to be scared of DeMar DeRozan hitting a mid-range shot in the third quarter with 4 minutes and 6 seconds left? Dennis Schroeder? We ain't got to talk about him. We ain't got to do that. Nobody's scared of the Kings, bro. We're good, bro. Fries in the bag. Simple as that. They'll be fine. Like, they'll be cool. But there are just so many other teams in the West that I would be worried about before the Kings. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like they even really have enough depth, like, to make a long run like that. And that's probably a big reason as to why they even picked up Russ, to try and bring some of that experience and that fire to the squad. And whether he'll be a starter or not, I'm not really sure, like, what their lineup is going to be looking like. But they're going to need him as an extra number for sure. So, hey, maybe they'll exceed my expectations. But keep in mind, my expectations for them are not very high. So, either way, though, you know, getting that out the way, I wish Russ nothing but the best in his next chapter. And above all else, I hope that he has fun. That's all it's about, because even if he opts, I still have a deep appreciation and respect for Russ. So shout out my boy, you know, in that new chapter. I wish him well, because, yeah, it's going to need it. But anyways, let's talk about somebody that is on the team, even though it is very recent. Bradley Beal is starting to find a home away from home, it seems like. He recently said something that stood out to me. He said, quote, "It feels like I've been here for years. I feel that comfortable with the group. They welcome me in that aspect that made me feel at home. It's been great. Zoo's going to be excited. I think we have a good two-man going. They going, you know what I'm saying, running them two-mans. He's excited about the opportunity. James is an unbelievable point guard, super unselfish, can still score the ball with the best of them. Kawhi, we all know he's a machine. I'm just happy. I'm happy to just uplift them in any way I can. And, you know, that quote says a lot. And I think that they've created an atmosphere where, you know, Beal already feels like he belongs. And I feel like that's one of the most important parts of being on a team, feeling like you're a part of something. You know what I mean? Like, casual fans forget that a lot of this goes beyond the basketball court. Basketball chemistry starts with human connection. And when you have a team that genuinely likes each other, it shows in the way that they play. I mean, not to keep glazing them, but look at the Thunder last year. Man, forget that. They won the chip. They were doing something right, so I'm going to give them their credit, man. You know what I'm saying? This is an unbiased channel, even though it's a biased channel. It's an biased channel, okay? Come on. The way they always hyping each other up in the post-game interviews, laughing, joking, having fun, making TikToks together, shoot. You can tell they enjoyed being around each other, like, on a genuine level. And that stuff translates into wins. It translates into success. And I think that that's what we could start building here. Now, obviously, we're not that young of a team, as many know. So I don't expect to see Bradley Beal and Kawhi out here making TikToks anytime soon, even though that would be absolutely hilarious and would break the internet, in my opinion. But I do love that there's already a strong bond forming, and that kind of connection really goes a long way on a championship caliber team. So I hope that he keeps feeling this way. I hope that they keep on building this camaraderie up and, you know, maintaining that relationship with each other. I think that stuff is going to translate. So wish them the best in that. Now, moving on to something a little bit different. Besides age, which is definitely something that everybody has been talking about, health is still one of the bigger concerns that we have heading into this season, both for fans and for haters. Clutch Points, their Clippers page, they brought up a good point. They said that Kawhi is still one of the best players in the league when he's healthy. The issue is, since coming to LA, he's only played more than 60 games one time. Just once. What is this, year 5, 6? 19, 20, 2021, 122, 22, 23, 3, 24, 4, 25, 25, 26. Whoa. Dang, bro. I'm getting old. Oh, shoot. Dang, this is year 7 and he's played 60 games one time. People have a reason to be skeptical. Bradley Beal hasn't played over 60 games since 2020. Been half a decade since then. John Collins. We've talked about it before. He only played 40 games last season. The Clippers have the pieces. They just need their stars on the floor. And Clutch Points is right in saying that. If Kawhi can get you around 60 games, Beal and Collins can stay healthy, this team can be a problem. They can be. The margin of error is small, but the upside is very, very large. It's not about whether they can play. It's whether they can stay healthy long enough to do it. You get what I'm saying? Like, we fix that, we're contenders. Simple as that. And I was actually just saying to some of my coworkers, like, I think this is the best squad that we've had on paper since that 2021 Western Conference Finals run. And honestly, it might even be a better roster than the one we had then. The West is obviously stacked this year. But if everybody's healthy, we can really make that push again. And this time, actually finish the job. I just hope that everybody plays hard, but also smart. You don't want to see any careless injuries or freak accidents, Obviously, there's some things that you can't control, and I get that. But you still got to move with caution, Can't get too overconfident and start doing dumb stuff, The season is way, 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 way too important to waste on the sidelines. So, yeah. I need everybody to be on their P's and Q's. I don't need nobody getting hurt on some dumb stuff. I don't even want to see you roll an ankle, my boy. Simple as that. But that takes me into my final point of the day, and that is going to be, once again, about the lineup. Ty Lue, he recently spoke about the rotation, and he kept it real. He said that it's not realistic for the Clippers to play 11 guys every night. So more than likely, what we're assuming is that there's going to be an odd man out. Sorry, I got to put my phone charging a little quick. But there's more than likely going to be an odd man out, and that guy could change from game to game from what he's making it seem like. If we're going off of what we know now, I think that I assume that the starting five is probably going to be Harden, Beal, Kawhi, Derrick Jones Jr., and Zubats. And then in the second unit, we're likely going to have Chris Paul, Chris Dunn, John Collins, and Brook Lopez with that fifth spot basically still up for grabs there. Right now, the way that it's seeming, that toss-up is going to be between Nicholas Batum and Bogdan Bogdanovic. And to be honest, I can see it going either way. Obviously, we know that Bogey's still working back from the hamstring injury. And Batum, he's turning 37 in December. Just putting that out there. Another 37-year-old on the roster. I wouldn't be surprised if Ty Lue gives Nick more rest throughout the year just to make sure that he's ready come playoff time, because obviously, getting older is a lot more wear and tear on your body. Playing 82 games in a season is insane, yo. Like, I know that people will be like, they did it back in the day. They were able to make it work. They were able to play all the games. While that's true, it's also why they played for 5 to 10 years. If they were lucky. That's what I have to say about that. So I wouldn't be mad if Nick Batum, took a little bit more rest if he wants to contribute to the postseason success that we're going to inevitably see. He's a smart, adaptable player, and I know that he'd understand that role. But in terms of pure on-court impact, call me crazy, but I just think that we're going to need more Bogey more often than not, because you need somebody that's going to be a catch and shoot sharpshooter that can catch fire, on any night. And right now, Bogey's that guy, more than likely. You know what I'm saying? Still, things are going to be probably matchup based. I wouldn't be surprised if Lue switches it up night to night. I would actually kind of prefer it that way. Because I feel like these are all guys that can adapt and overcome. So, they know the roles. They know what they're expected to do night in and night out. We got guys that would be okay with not playing. By guys, I mean Nick Batum. Yeah. But I feel like that's okay. You know what I'm saying? early on, I expect to see a little more of him because Bogey's still coming back from that injury. But as the season progresses and Bogey gets better, I think that we're going to see more of Bogey. But you guys let me know what you think about that. Because that is going to do it for this episode. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about this whole situation, this lineup situation. Who do you think will be the odd man out if Ty Lue stays true to his word? He could be tricking the media anyways. Like, who knows? What do you guys think about our health check-in? Do you think that Kawhi, Bradley Beal, or John Collins, or anybody else that's not really known for their health exactly, do you think that we can see them play over 60 games this year? I really hope so. How important do you think camaraderie is, and just building strong bonds with your teammates, those personable relationships? How important do you think that is as it translates to on the court success? And then what are your thoughts on Russ and the Kings? Are you scared of the Kings now? Does that move the needle for you? Or do you kind of feel, the same, or are you indifferent about it? Feel free to let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. And of course, consider subscribing if you're new here. It'd be greatly appreciated. But I'm going to get on out of here. Y'all be easy. Y'all stay sleazy. Keep it capital Peasy. Y'all already know. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Y'all take it easy. Peace.